Oh, I've got a worm in me whiskers. Stop wiggling. Whoa! Oh, get off. Oh, right. Oh, phew. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, it's hot down there today. Oh, and talking of hot places, just take a little look at this. Now, where is it? Here we are. There. Yes, it's the seaside. Ah, how I love the sea. Oh, look at that sea. Oh, that water. Water everywhere. Now, do you know, water covers much more of the earth than land does? Yes. Of course, there are lots of uses for water. For example, we use it to travel on. Look at him go! Hey! Make sure you don't fall over. Good. Oh, look at that one. Oh, that's handy, isn't it? Very nice. Wait! Whoa! Oh, I thought he'd gone then. No, he hadn't. He's still there. Oh dear, it's starting to rain. But still, rain is water too, of course. But it's not the same as the water in the sea, because the water in the sea is salty. But where does the rain come from in the first place? Can you guess? That's right. It comes from the clouds. But how do the clouds form? I'm full of questions today, aren't I? I'll tell you. Clouds form like this. Well now, I wonder what's going on here. Well, when the sun shines on the sea, tiny drops of water, much too small to actually see them, rise up into the air. And these tiny drops of water gather together to make clouds. Watch the wind blow the clouds towards the land. And look, it's starting to rain. The rain fills the rivers, and the rivers flow into the sea. Now, let's see it all work in real life. Rain falls on the hillsides. What the trees and the plants don't use falls into brooks and into streams and over waterfalls. There they go, tumbling and crashing. Streams run into other streams, which join rivers, and the rivers finally run down into the sea. And there's more. All right, hang on, just a minute, What has this got to do with where clouds come from? I expect you're wondering, because I know, and I'm going to tell you. Now look, see the wet laundry? When the sun shines on it and the wind blows, the tiny particles or drops of water in the clothes go off into the air, leaving the clothes dry. And this is called, big word coming up, this is called evaporation. Got that? Evaporation. Now, you can't actually see it happening, but it works in all kinds of places. Like the ocean. When the sun shines on the seawater, some of it evaporates into the air, and that helps make the clouds. Now, let me show you something else. What has a glass of lemonade to do with clouds? Don't worry, Oscar will never let you wonder for long. Have you ever seen water when it seems to come out of nowhere, like this? Well, what happens is that the tiny particles of water in the air join together into large drops on things that are very cold, like this glass. And this is called, another big word, condensation. Condensation. Got it? Condensation happens in clouds too. When they meet cold air in the sky, the water in them condenses and then it falls down as, yes, that's absolutely right, rain. And the whole cycle starts all over again. But enough of this talk of rain. Oh, look at this lovely, lovely sun we're having. Made me a bit thirsty, I'm telling you. Ah, a nice drink. I shall have one. Do you get thirsty? Of course you do. We all need water to drink every day. Well, almost every day. Even a camel can't go without water for very long. Now, do you know where our water comes from? Well, yes, from the tap, indeed. But how does it reach the tap? Here's a map of the journey that water makes to reach the tap. Special lakes called reservoirs store the water. Now, let's have a look at it in real life. Here is a great big reservoir. Looks like it's about to rain too. Yeah, well, that'll keep it topped up, won't it? And here's another one. Another reservoir, I mean. Now, reservoirs often have a dam at one end. That's the dam along there. And that's to hold back the water until it's needed. The water then comes down underground pipes until eventually it arrives at the tap. Of course, the water has to be made clean before we drink it. And the people who take care of our water filter it carefully and kill any germs that might have got into it. And then it's ready for us to drink. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I left the bath running. Oh, that's another thing about water, though. Lots of things float on it. Lots and lots of things. But how come other things sink? Well, because some things are lighter than others. Some things are lighter than water, and some aren't. The brick sank because it was heavy and solid. My rubber duck floated, and it's floating away. Come back, duck. Here. Now, although a ship is very heavy, much heavier than brick, of course, unless it was an absolutely enormous brick, the ship still doesn't sink. Now, this is because inside the ship, it's hollow, and the hollow parts are full of air. So, the air in the ship stops it from sinking. When a ship is loaded, it becomes heavier. The hollow parts get filled with cargo. And as a result, the ship gets lower in the water. So, careful not to put too much in it, or it might get too heavy and sink. Now, here we are in the bathroom. Glub, 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 glub. Now, I've got a little question for you. See these two red barrels? Well, why do you suppose one floats and the other sinks? Any idea? All right, here's a little clue. you've seen someone do this in a swimming pool. Now, she's heavier than the water, but she's holding her breath and her lungs are full of air, and that helps her float. Just the same way that the air in this rubber ring helps this boy to float. So, the answer to my little question is, the barrel that sinks is full of sand, and the barrel that floats is full of air. And the air inside stops it from sinking. Right? Easy. Vroom, vroom. Seagulls ahead. Oh, sorry. There you are, right. Of course, another question. Told you I was full of them. What else can you think of that floats? How about that huge iceberg? That is floating. Icebergs are just enormous chunks of ice. Ice does float. Ice is very, very cold water. Now what? Snow? Snow? It's snowing. Remember how we talked about rain before? Yes, you do. Wasn't long ago. Right, well, snow is a lot like rain. They're both made of water. When the air is very cold, the rain freezes into snow crystals like this. Now, of course, this picture makes the snow crystal look much bigger than it really is, in case you didn't realise, which of course you did. Didn't you? Oh, you did. Aren't they lovely? And believe it or not, no two snowflakes are ever alike. When lots and lots of snowflakes fall at the same time, then they build up like this. And if it gets cold enough in the winter, the water in ponds and lakes and rivers will freeze, just like the ice cubes and the snow did. Oh, look what's coming. Look. Oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, maybe he's not as good as he looks. He's wearing a helmet. Oh, he's going fast. That's very dangerous. Oh, holding hands. And for my next trick. One way. Whoops. Fortunately, the water doesn't usually freeze all the way down. So, the fish and the creatures that live in the pond just sort of slow down and take it easy through the winter months. But before too long, the spring comes. Oh, I love spring, and all the ice melts away. Come on, bite. Oh, it's on. Sorry. I always throw them back anyway. And if water gets very hot, it eventually gets so hot that it boils. When water boils, it turns to steam. Oh, look. There's some steam coming out of that saucepan. Look at the lid, being lifted up by the steam. Now, steam must be very powerful to do that. In fact, steam can do a lot more than lift a lid. Steam is so powerful it can drive an engine. This machine is called a steam engine, and the force of the steam makes these wheels go round. And it'll do that as long as the fire boils the water, which makes the steam. another kind of transport. Wow! Look how fast he's going! Now that's because moving water is very powerful! I said very powerful! And that power is something we can use! We use it to move all kinds of things and do hard work for us. Now, this kind of wheel used to be used to grind up grain to make flour for bread. But nowadays, we use the energy in moving water to make other things. Look at this dam. Now, inside the dam are huge machines called water turbines. Have you any idea what the turbines might be used for? Well, here's another dam. Now, what happens is that all the water stored by the dam falls down pipes and powers these machines. And what are the machines doing? Well, they're being used to make electricity. And the electricity travels down enormous wires to the towns and to the cities and then to our homes. So, did you know water power could be used to make electricity? Well, as we've seen, water certainly has its uses, wouldn't you say? I would. In fact, I did. Oh dear, must be getting late. I'd better be going, hadn't I? It's getting late. Gets dark fast. Ah! Help! Where have the lights gone? I can't see! Turn the lights on! Lights, 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 light! Ah, that reminds me, light! But that's another story. I'll tell you another time. Bye! In another story, which is all about light, I will be talking to you about things like the sun. Now, do you know why plants need sunlight? And do you know where the sun goes at night? Trick question, that one. And what about the moon and the stars? Well, we're going to have a look at them too. And we'll be talking about lots of other things like rainbows and mirrors. So, please join me, otherwise I'll get lonely. In another story, which is all about the air, I will be talking to you about lots of other things. Like, for example, do you know where the wind comes from? And have you ever thought what air is actually made of? It's made of something, I'll tell you. And why does a balloon go bang? It isn't just because you pop it. No, much more to it than that. And I shall be telling you about that and about lots of other things too. For example, again, what about things that fly through the air? We're going to have lots and lots of fun finding out.